You don't forget the ones who change your rules. Therapists aren't supposed to admit that. We're trained to create safe distance, to avoid favoritism or fear. We take notes, nod empathetically, and when the session ends, we put the story down like a closed file, but some stories climb off the paper and sit with you long after midnight. Aaron was one of those. He showed up during a week of cancellations, a gap in my schedule I would have filled with admin work and lukewarm coffee. The intake form said little. Name, Aaron, no last name. Reason for visit. I want to understand myself before it's too late. Cryptic, but not unusual. People often write in riddles when they're afraid of being honest, even on paper. He arrived early. I heard the soft knock before I'd even set my notes down. Tall, early 30s, clean clothes, but no umbrella despite the rain. Hood down, eyes unreadable. "You can call me Aaron," he said. He didn't sit until I did. Didn't speak until I asked, "What brings you in today?" A pause, then, "How honest can I be?" That should have been my first red flag. I've heard that question before, usually from people who are about to say something they already regret. But I nodded. This is a space for honesty, as much or as little as you're comfortable with. He exhaled slowly and leaned back. I don't think I feel things right. The first session was quiet, sparse. He answered my questions with surgical precision, not defensive, not guarded, just clinical. No diagnosed mental illness, no prior therapy, no substance use. Vague references to a rough childhood, but brushed off when I asked more. When I inquired about what not feeling things right meant, he said, "Pain feels sharp. Everything else feels background noise." I asked if he'd ever hurt anyone. Another pause. Not seriously. He kept coming back. Session 2, Session 3. Always on time. Always clean. Always controlled. He never smiled, never fidgeted, never let a moment slip unfiltered. It was like speaking to a man built entirely out of decisions. Yet beneath the composure I sensed something pressing, like a scream that never made it out of the lungs. In Session 5, I tried to push a little deeper. "Do you ever feel guilt?" He tilted his head. "Not really, but I understand why people pretend to." "Pretend?" "Yeah. You act sorry, they leave you alone. You cry, they forgive you. It's theater. Most people are actors. They just don't know it." I wrote that line down in my notes. He noticed. "You writing that one down?" I nodded. "It's interesting. It's true." By Session 7, I started wondering if Aaron was testing me, dropping phrases like, "If someone deserved it, is it still wrong?" I think I'm afraid of not being afraid. There's peace in planning, even violent plans. But every time I asked direct questions, he redirected, not evasive, just skillfully incomplete. He gave me just enough to stay engaged, just enough to avoid liability. Until Session 9. "You still want honesty?" he asked. I nodded. "Of course," he leaned forward. "No hesitation this time. I killed someone 2 nights ago." My pen stopped mid-sentence. I didn't move. Years of training, thousands of sessions, and still my body tensed like a rookie. I focused on breathing through my nose. Slow. Even. Calm. "Can you tell me what happened?" I asked, voice steady. He tilted his head. "I thought you might ask that." Then he smiled. Not a grin, not a smirk. Something else. Like a man who's just placed his last chess piece and is waiting to see if I notice the checkmate. "I won't say names or places, not because I'm afraid, but because I'm not ready to stop talking to you." "You understand I may have to report this." "No, you won't." He said it so confidently that for a moment I believed him. "You don't know anything, it's just a story. Could be fiction, could be projection." could be a metaphor for, I don't know, killing my old self. He folded his hands neatly in his lap. I just want to talk. You're good at listening. I tried to regain control. Let's clarify something. Did someone actually die? He looked me dead in the eye. Oh, yes. He's very dead. Silence. I don't feel bad about it, he added. Should you? Another long pause. That's what I want to find out. He started talking again. Not about the act, but about the lead-up, the planning, the waiting, the watching. He described emotions like a biologist describes microorganisms. Interesting, but distant. He hurt someone I cared about. Years ago. The law let him go. So I didn't. You believe justice wasn't served. No, I believe it doesn't exist. I just corrected the ledger. Then he reached into his bag and pulled out a black journal, thick, used, weathered. He handed it to me. This is for you. I didn't touch it. It's safe. No names, no addresses, just thoughts. Why give this to me? Because it has to exist outside of me now. If it stays in my head, it'll rot there. If someone else holds it, maybe it becomes real. I took the journal. It was heavier than it looked. I didn't open it during the session. Instead, I asked the only thing that felt remotely tethered to reality. Do you want to come back next week? He smiled. I wouldn't miss it. Then he stood, nodded politely, and walked out, leaving me in the silence of my office, holding a murderer's thoughts in my hands. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the journal on my desk like it might start whispering if I turned my back. I told myself I wouldn't open it. Not yet, not alone. But somewhere around 3 a.m., I gave in. The first page was blank. The second began with, "Therapy is a lie we pay for to pretend we're not already doomed." Poetic, arrogant, troubled. The entries were dated, not consistently, but enough to trace patterns. Most started with mundane observations, people in line at the grocery store, a memory of his childhood dog, a review of a terrible movie. Then they shifted. Violent thoughts, fantasies, detailed replays of imagined confrontations, lists of grievances against strangers, a list of reasons why certain people deserved it. His handwriting tightened in these sections, more angular, less patient, but nothing was concrete. No confession, no names, no scene, just a descent into darkness. Then back out again, as if he was testing the line between man and monster. One page stopped me cold. He never said sorry, not once. Even when he saw her cry in court, even when she told the whole room what he did. Underneath that, scratched in ink so deep it dented the paper. So I said it for him. With a rock. I closed the book. The next morning I called 2 colleagues. I didn't give names, just hypotheticals. Both said the same thing. Without a clear, actionable threat or identifying details, you can't break confidentiality. Encourage him to share more, build rapport. If he wants to be caught, he'll give you the tools. But I didn't think Aaron wanted to be caught. I thought he wanted to be heard. The next session was scheduled for Thursday. I waited. He didn't show. No call. No email. Nothing. His number, disconnected. The intake form, fake email, fake last name. No emergency contact. Nothing in the system. He was gone. And he took his secrets with him. Weeks passed, then months. I kept the journal locked in a cabinet. I'd take it out sometimes, not to read, just to remind myself it was real. At times I wondered if I imagined the whole thing. Maybe Aaron was just a disturbed man with violent fantasies and a flair for performance. Maybe the murder was fiction, symbolic, a test of my boundaries. But then again, one evening, curiosity got the better of me. I searched online for cold cases, assaults, murders, deaths that lined up with his timeline, his clues. And I found something. A man, mid-40s, found dead behind a hardware store, blunt force trauma. No witnesses, no suspects, just a passing mention in a local news blog. He'd once been accused, and acquitted, of assaulting a woman. Charges dropped due to insufficient evidence. The timeline fit. The location made sense. The silence around it felt intentional. I never told anyone, not officially. Not because I feared the consequences, but because I realized something darker. Aaron didn't need validation. He didn't want absolution. He just wanted someone to witness it, to archive it in flesh and blood. And I played the part perfectly. Some nights I still think about him, whether he's walking the streets somewhere, blending in, or if that confession was his way of saying goodbye, not just to me, but to the part of himself that still cared. I'll never know. But I still have the journal. Its pages don't bleed, but they bruise. And sometimes, when I open it, I think I hear a knock at the door. Thanks for listening. That's how this story ended, with silence, shadows, and too many unanswered questions. Have you ever heard something that changed the way you see people forever? Drop your story in the comments. Someone out there needs to hear it. And if this stayed with you, like, share, and subscribe for more real stories, raw, eerie, and unapologetically human. More coming soon.